Wine ready? Oh, he's ready. Of course he is. Okay, I'd like to call for a motion to return to open session.
Make a motion.
And do I get a second?
A second.
And second is there. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. We are back in regular open session. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I
pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll start out this evening with a presentation by Scott Hateman. Welcome, Scott.
Everyone, Scott Hateman of Personius Melver. I'm an attorney and I represent your body. And I'm here today just to introduce myself to the new board members and reintroduce myself to some of the past board members. It's been a while since I've been here, mostly due to COVID. So to give you an idea of what we do for the district, our primary work is done as a representative of the district on the Niagara Power Coalition and its related entity, the Host Communities Standing Committee. And without going into too much detail about the history, essentially municipalities in Niagara County came to an agreement with the New York Power Authority back in 2005. And the gist of the agreement is that to make up for the fact that the Power Authority has facilities, equipment throughout, in our circumstance, the school district, that property, that land would otherwise be generating tax revenue. And we negotiated some benefits that is paid to us on an annual basis, 3 different forms to make up for that tax loss. Those 3 benefits are the Niagara Greenway Recreation Tourism Fund. There is a low-cost power allocation that is made to the district, and there is a Host Communities Fund, which is an amount of money allocated to the district every year. That agreement with the New York Power Authority will last for 50 years, and it began in 2005. So it's going to be around for a while longer. On a month-to-month basis, our work is primarily to actually attend and participate in the meetings of the Niagara Power Coalition and Host Communities Standing Committee. That Host Communities Standing Committee is the organization that determines whether or not projects brought by the municipalities are consistent with the Niagara River Greenway Plan. For example, in our district, we used our allocation of funds over a 17-year period to fund the Echo Campus project that was begun here in 2011, 2012. And that had to go to the Host Community Standing Committee, and it was determined to be consistent, and therefore we get our funding. And so on about, it averages out to a quarterly basis, the Host Community Standing Committee meets, reviews project applications brought by the municipalities and determines consistency. The Host Community Standing Committee itself is not funded in any way. So the Niagara Power Coalition, which initially negotiated those circumstances, remains in existence and receives some funding on an annual basis from all the municipalities. In conjunction with that, this district is its representative, which is me or Dr. Davis, is on a committee, the Audit and Finance Committee for the Niagara Power Coalition, which, among other things, determines the budget for that organization. That's where I come in, and I represent the district on that committee, on the Power Coalition, and with those communities standing. Over the years, and we've been representing this district, since it was about 2006 that I started working with this district. And over the years, we've done a few other things, but on a primary basis and a month-to-month basis, that's what we do. And again, I wanted to come today, and Dr. Davis allowed me the opportunity to come, just again reintroduce myself. I'm always available to the district to talk about any of those issues. And if there's any specific questions, we should hold off and do that and maintain our attorney-client privilege and do that some other time. But I'm happy to talk about things in general. If there's anything, there's certainly nothing on my end that needs to be talked about here tonight. Great. It was my pleasure to meet some of you for the first time and see all the rest of you again. And I worked through Dr. Davis, so of course, if there's any questions, go to her, call me directly. It was nice to see you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Scott, thank you very much for your presentation. Next item is privilege from the floor, and we have no one signed up here. All right, going to move on to consensus agenda items. 1 through 6, we're going to separate number 7. Those items include accepting minutes, approval of field trips, fundraiser, IEPs, late private parochial transportation requests, and a budget transfer. So I look for a motion to accept those items, numbers 1 through 6.
So moved.
Moved
Second.
and seconded. All in favor? Opposed? And abstained? Motion passes. Okay, item number 7, which was separated as Secora resolution. I will defer to Allison to describe that, and we have a roll call vote for that as well, correct?
Okay, this is the secret resolution for the upcoming capital project that will be put to vote this late fall. This is for the work being done within the district. It's a type 2 action, which indicates that there's little adverse environmental impact. So there's no further action other than your approval needed at this point.
So would we be approving for a negative declaration of the secret? Usually it's either a negative or a positive.
Right.
Yes,
Be
it's
negative.
a type 2. Correct.
So you might want to put negative declaration in there somehow. My guess, I'm asking.
I think it's,
I think it's part of the resolution.
yeah, no, it's just the one, but you're
Just the one.
there's gonna be,
It's the main one.
there has
You
to
can
be a-
always check and
there has
do
to
it.
be a
Yeah, you
roll
can
call
have to-
vote.
yeah.
There has to be a roll call vote.
There's an attachment.
It's usually a negative
Right.
dec-
Yep,
usually
yeah.
negative declaration.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And we do
I'm
all the
looking
time.
right here. Give me
Yep.
1 second. Here's what it says. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought.
What's in it?
So if you look at the document, I don't know if you can pull it up, please, Ryan. No, no, it's on there. It's actually, the attachment's right on there. And if you go to the last, yep, click on that, scroll down to the last whereas down at the bottom. Yeah, right, up above that one, right, right there. So if you read that last part, now therefore be it resolved. And I think what the part that Rick's talking about, if you look at well, you can read the whole thing, of course, but, and everybody should, but if you look where it says,
It says right at the very bottom, as a type 2 action, the project is not subject to review under secret and it's deemed not to have potential significant impact on it.
so that's
No.
how it's a negative.
It's a negative.
Right. Okay.
Mr. Lee?
Was there a motion already?
Okay. All right, so need to make a motion to for this secret resolution.
Make the motion.
I'll
I'll second it.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
I thought we had to do a roll call.
Well, that's right, roll call vote from here then.
All right.
But
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Bagel? Yes.
yes,
Mr.
Yes.
McDermott?
Yes.
okay, moving on to personnel items, number 1 through 18. Is there anything to separate?
Just a quick note for the board. On number 1, Mr. White unfortunately was unable to make it this evening. He did want to be here.
And just share with the board that he sent me a really nice email thanking all of you for your consideration with his tenure. How much, and he made sure he put in there how much he loves, appreciates working in the district and with all the people and the families, and the students in the district.
And then we'll catch up with them in another meeting here. All right. Personnel items 1 through 18, look for a motion for approval.
I'll make the motion.
A second,
Second.
got a second, all in favor,
Aye.
opposed, abstained, motions carried. All right, moving on here. We have standing committees, capital project committee.
Right now, we don't really have any news to talk about. There's still, well, the seeker was part of it. Tonight's seeker was part of it. So after we get that gets taken care of, then we're gonna set up our next meeting, but right now, we don't have a meeting set up. You wanna talk about the-
Okay, we also have policy committee.
We had our meeting prior to this meeting, reviewed several policies, and they will be on the next agenda for the first reading. And then our next meeting isn't until December.
Okay, next, external written communication, there's fundraisers, that's just informational item for board members to check out for West Street Parent Group. Had a couple items. Moving on to our ex officio student member, Braden, what do you got for us?
So next week is our homecoming week. It runs the 26th to the 30th. We have Spirit Days. These are out of order because I wasn't sure which one was which. So for Spirit Days, we have a Falcons Day, bikers versus surfers, which splits 2 grades versus 2 grades. Country Club versus Country Western, which is along the same thing. And then Friday is Orange Shirt Day, which is district wide. And then after school, we have something after school every day next week. Monday, we have hall decorating. Each grade level gets a hallway to decorate. And this year's theme is each grade level got a different Disney movie, and they're theming their hallway after that. Tuesday is window decorating for all of the clubs. Wednesday, there's a talent show at 6 in the high school auditorium with a $3 admission fee, and then the gift card drawing for participants. And then Thursday, we have a Mario Kart tournament and the Powder Puff game at 7. Mario Kart is at 6, I believe, with a $3 entry fee. And then Friday's the big day with the homecoming game against Frontier at 7. A pep assembly, and then Falcon Fest after school in the courtyard with inflatables and like giant Connect 4, giant Yahtzee, sign making. And then all next week, we're gonna be running a teacher pie in the face, almost like a competition where teachers will volunteer to possibly get pie in the face at Falcon Fest, and students buy tickets to vote for which teacher they want. But yeah, next week will be fun. Anybody want to volunteer for the pie in the face contest?
We were just wondering if we could submit volunteers.
Yeah.
Could we nominate people?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not.
Okay, we'll talk. Well, it sounds like an exciting week coming up.
Seems into it.
Yeah. We'll see here.
I used to be a high school principal.
All right, I'll move on to the president's report. I'm here filling in for Mr. Sabo this evening. Just look forward to all the homecoming activities. Hopefully all the weather holds out. I'm sure you guys will do a great job with everything. Moving on, superintendent's report, Mr. Lalonich.
Yes, I don't have to move very far for the first one. Little recognition here for one of our board members, Mr. Forcucci. The New York State School Board Association recognition program is designed to acknowledge those school board members who strive to continually expand their governance, knowledge, and skills. You've seen probably presentations here before. When our board members accumulate a certain number of hours, those are accumulate into points. And so this says the Board Achievement Award is to John Porcucci, Niagara Whitfield Central School District, for participation in New York State School Board Association Leadership Development Training totaling 75 points and dated 2022. So this is your recognition.
Okay.
Congratulations.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
And there's
Very
your
good.
envelope.
My envelope and everything goes with it.
That's right.
Great. Surprise.
Thank you for the work you do.
Thank you.
Hiring, I want to give Tom just a minute to recap any positions that we're still hiring for.
Thank you. I just want to make note that we're constantly updating any postings that are currently available in the district. And they're available under our website at departments under the personnel page. And I'm looking at them as we speak here, but we do have some food service helper positions as well as some cleaners, one laborer and two personal areas that are currently open. We do have a lot of applications coming in and currently sitting at civil service waiting for approval. Just as of a note, fingerprinting is a little bit backed up in the state right now and across the area, so we're anticipating the next 2 weeks having a lot of movement and potential candidates there. Also want to thank the superintendent. I think his plug for employees to the opening day message of our greater school community had some impact because we had several candidates come in from there, as well as the job fair that we conducted in August. So we're still looking to pinch a couple positions together and close them up. But right now, we're actually pretty grateful for where we are in the position we're in. Thanks.
Just a comment about the capital project work. Bob mentioned that we will be setting a meeting date soon. One of the things during the process, we had initially planned to have our secure storage building that we plan to build part of the larger project, and we wanted to incorporate that as part of the larger project. Because of what will be required for the secret for that, which is opposed to the one that we spoke to today, it's going to be a different category. We're going to separate the two out so it doesn't slow up the rest of the process. Okay. It just made really good sense to us, and through working with our architect, our bond attorney, to do that. Okay. Thank you for talking about all the great homecoming events. I won't have to try. It's so exciting to me to hear all those activities being planned as they have in the past. You know, the hallway decorations and things that just are really important for school spirit and school culture. So I'm really excited. This coming Saturday from 8 to 11, we have the Eco Campus Revitalization Project out here. It's actually our 7th biannual event. Primarily, we'll be doing some cleanup. We'll be doing some like restaking of trees, all the ones that were planted last spring. Some millings will be put out in some low places on our path. And there might be even some cleanup in Cayuga Creek, okay, along the creek bed. So those are really the main functions of this particular Eco Campus project. We're hoping to do some additional plantings in the spring. Okay. I had the opportunity this past weekend, Sunday and Monday, to take part in the NISCUS conference. The NISCUS conference is the New York State Council of School Superintendents. And I will thank you for that opportunity. It's a great professional development opportunity for me. One of the keynote speakers there was from a company called World Savvy, and really did a nice job of the presentation, but more importantly, it had some things that might be worthwhile for us as a district to look at. They are an aidable service. I have our curriculum instruction and technology director and assistant director looking into that a little bit. It just might fit really well with some of the things that we're doing. food service. As I think everybody knows, food is not free in all of our buildings this year. It's free in all of our buildings besides our high school and Eric Road Elementary School. We can't stress enough that for families to make sure that they turn in their reduced lunch, free and reduced lunch application forms. We're going to be sending out additional messaging about that. If people have questions, hopefully we can answer some of those with this information that we put out. The goal, of course, with this is always to simplify the process to make sure people turn in the forms. Those forms are so important, first, to make sure that kids are eating, but second, because our student aid is based on what's considered our poverty level, right? So it's really important for families to make sure that they take the time to do that. We'll continue to help and encourage and find ways to help families with filling out those forms. I was talking to a few of the board members before the meeting tonight, and it was a topic that was hot at the New York State Council of School Superintendents, the whole free and reduced lunch piece. And we're one of the districts who I think are a kind of focal point for the state, because we're not a district where everybody was receiving it before, but for 2 years, everybody was. And now some of those buildings, they're not. And families certainly have questioned, in some cases for the first time, why aren't we free, but other buildings are. As you may know, last year, at the end of the year, we were waiting to see if the federal government would come through with something that said, yeah, all schools are still going to receive it. They didn't. They just extended it through the summer, the feeding program. Now, New York State is taking a look at whether or not they will do something with extending the free meals in schools to all kids. So we'll see where that ends up. But we are just a really interesting, I think, case study. Within New York State, we're not alone, because we have some that qualify and then some that haven't historically. That's all I have.
You want to talk about home football games?
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad I give you this. We have a home football game as part of our homecoming week. Just one message that I want to make sure that we get out to all of our families. And I know this message will come from our middle school, but know that it's coming from me. If you're coming to games, and we're particularly seeing a concern with some of our middle school students who are coming to attend, you need to be coming there to be a spectator of football. Okay, you can't come to those games, run around, think you're going to play a side game of football. We have supervision at those games, but it's not for that purpose. Okay, we're not running physical education classes there. We're not running modified football off to the side there. We need to make sure that people that are there, they're there to watch the games. And I would ask parents to make sure that they share that with their children. If kids who are not doing that, we'll be making phone calls to have those kids picked up. Okay, because that's not what those evenings are for. We don't want to close it off. I don't want to get into a position where we say, geez, if middle school kids are going to come, they have to come with a parent. But if we can't rectify it this way, that may be a next step. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, moving on the agenda, any reports to the board? Any items for board discussion? Moving on, any items for old business? Any items for new business? Public comments? We'll go to board member comments. Anyone? Anyone? Quiet group tonight. Okay, then I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?